Hello and welcome to Fit Life Radio, the place where you can learn a little bit more about how your body works and find new ways to improve your health. I'm your host Petio, and I hope to provide you with as much valuable information and inspire you to become a better version of yourself. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Petio back with another Fit Life Radio episode, and today's episode is going to be a Q&A one. I haven't done it for a while, that's true, but the thing is that I'm picking questions from Quora. For those of you who don't know, Quora is a question and answer based platform where people answer questions and they also ask a lot of questions, and they're expecting answer from experts or from people who have been through whatever they're asked. So I've been there for a while, and I have to tell you that actually it's pretty hard to pick the right questions because there are a lot of absurd questions, such as like, what will happen if I eat 100 grams of strawberry per day? If I only eat 100 grams of strawberry per day for a week? You're probably not gonna die, but you're gonna have quite a lot of issues. And first of all, you're gonna be super hungry, and you won't be able to do a lot of stuff throughout the day. So my point is that I would like to answer questions which are going to benefit you guys or benefit anyone who is listening, because like, if I answer absurd questions which nobody really cares about, it would be quite hard. Or if I answer the same question over and over, such as like how to lose weight fast or whatever, that's not really going to benefit. So I'm trying to pick interesting questions which are going to serve more as a topic that I discuss, and I'm trying to kind of like provide knowledge as well as answering a question. So this is why it took me quite a while to take the right to pick the right question. So anyway, let's start with the first one for today, and this is calorie surplus required to build muscle, or is high protein just enough? That's a cool one, actually. Well, the answer is going to be it depends. The thing is, um, let's start from the calorie surplus. Well, there is a simple law or a simple equation that states that, well, if you basically eat more than you should to maintain your body weight, you're going to gain weight. If you eat less than you should to maintain, you're going to lose weight. And that can be manipulated with movement as well. So basically, if you eat the same amount but you move more, you're going to be losing weight. And if you eat the same amount but moving less, then there's going to be more food basically, and you're going to be putting on weight. In this case, the guy or the girl wants to know if it's enough to be on a surplus, or is it required. Well, technically yes, it is required to eat more in order to gain more weight, because otherwise there won't be enough resources in excess, so the body uses those resources in excess to add up and build from. However, protein or high protein intake is it's quite important as well. But the thing is, protein intake is not only important for muscle building or for recovery. Like, there's a lot of other processes in the body which require like sufficient amount of protein. So if you're an athlete, I would say 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight would be great. And that's actually the maximum required, pretty much. Other than that, if you eat more than that, you're just gonna pretty much waste it. But the thing is, since that person is asking about building muscle, like, that person is probably going to the gym and lifting weights. So I would say yes, higher amounts of protein are definitely going to help. And the thing is, if that's the beginning phase and that person is just starting, first of all, just bumping up protein intake is actually going to bump calories anyway, because as we know, like the body pretty much tends to eat the same amount every day. And for those of you who have tried, actually, calorie surplus is not that easy. Um, so just bumping up the protein is gonna be quite alright in the beginning, and also considering the fact that if that person is a beginner, like gains are going to come pretty fast. So you don't really need to manipulate a lot of stuff. I would just say make sure you eat a lot of protein in order to maintain that recovery. However, um, if you're more advanced, yeah, I would say, like, unless you're an athlete, I would say, aim for about 1 gram per pound of body weight, and that's going to give you enough protein for recovery. And also try to bump up your calories. Like if you're doing heavy weightlifting, I would say get some more carbs, because like you're going to be taxing your nervous system quite a lot, and you are going to need those carbs in order to pretty much start the recovery process, or to basically kind of calm you down and get out of that fight or flight state. And also, like, if you're someone who is demanding a lot from their nervous system, they're using a lot of carbohydrates, or actually primarily they're using carbohydrate as a source of fuel. So I would say, yes, bump up the carbs, bump up the protein as well, and that's going to give you quite a lot of calorie surplus. Don't forget the fats as well, because these are pretty important too for hormone production. So depending of what kind of state you are, if you're actively dieting, if you're really wanting to put weight, or if you're preparing for competition, like the amount of like fats and carbs is going to vary. But um, in general, I would say yes, high protein is enough in the beginning, and that's kind of going to give you the calorie surplus. But in like, as a general rule, without calorie surplus, it's gonna be so hard to put any sort of weight. Like, as an example, I've been trying to put weight for quite a while now, and I thought that I'm eating quite a lot, but in fact, I started couple weeks ago. I started to track, and uh, I should be eating 3,000 calories to maintain my body weight, my current body weight. And in order to be on a surplus, I should be kind of averaging around 3,500. I barely eat 2,500. It's just super hard to eat a lot, especially when your body is adapted to a certain amount of food. And like, start tracking. It's super important to see where you are, and it's not easy. This is my point, is that it is not easy. So um, you really need to see actually where you at, and use some tools to track and to be able to determine. Because if you just decide, okay, now I'm gonna start to eat a bit more, where you have no control over all those variables. So this was my final thing that I wanted to add to this question. Moving on to the next one. What's a snack that is cheap, quick prep, and low calorie? It doesn't exist. No, I'm joking. Well, the thing is, I don't really like the word snack, because for me, snack promotes uh, eating unhealthy. Like, for me, the word snack, or at least me, I associate it with, uh, you know, eating without being hungry. Like, if you're hungry, if you're really, really hungry, have a complete meal. Have like a meal with, with some proteins and with some carbs and with some fats. Make sure you have a lot of fibers as well, so you can, ensure proper digestion. But most of the time, what people refer to snack, or to snacks, is just like something that they don't really need or they don't really want, but they're just eating it because they feel some sort of hunger. But that doesn't mean that they're actually hungry. and you gotta understand it. It's super important. Like, you may feel hungry because you're stressed. You may feel hungry because you're distracted. You may feel hungry because you associated like watching movie with eating something, or like eating a snack. You may, excuse me, you may feel hungry as well because you didn't have enough water. So simply having like a glass of water whenever you feel like you want to have a snack, you might actually reduce a lot of the overall calories. And the thing is, the goal is not to have snacks which are cheap and low calories. The goal is to actually have complete meals. And like, there are complete meals and incomplete meals. Complete meals are the big meals which, have all the like nutrient dense food and all the macros inside. And incomplete meals are all those treats that are just gonna give you some pleasure of eating or tasting it, but it's not actually going to give you anything. So, uh, well, I do understand that, especially if you're actively dieting, especially if you're on a low calorie diet, that's gonna mean that you're on a very low fat diet. That's gonna mean that you're eating a little bit of carbs and trying to maintain the protein intake, which means that like you're going to feel hungry pretty much all the time. Um, Having some sort of snacks in between, it might help you kind of survive through the hunger. But these are very you know how to say, like, these are cases where they're very extreme and rare and individual cases. Like, for most of the people, like, you don't really need a snack. However, if I'm supposed to give you examples about cheap snacks, or which are quick prep and low calorie, just buy carrots. Like, honestly, you can buy like 1 or 2 kilos of carrots for like €1 or $1 or something like this, or $2. And I mean, you are going to have snacks for the entire week for just €1 or $1 or €2, like whatever. But like, my point is that carrots are super cheap. They are rich in fibers, and they're also very low in calories. So you can, I'm sure you're not gonna eat that much, but you can just simply have like 3 or 4 carrots, or and you can kind of like, whenever you feel hungry, you can like get the carrots and like start basically grinding, and that's gonna kind of like keep you like less less hungry. But again, like, there is a reason for all of this. And it's we're not meant to have to be eating all the time. We're not meant to have high levels of insulin all the time throughout the day. And every single food that we eat is going to spike, some more, some less, but it's going to spike insulin resistance, or it's going to spike insulin production. And then, the more we eat throughout the day, like, the more we can get insulin resistant, because basically we have all the time insulin in our blood. It's just like the caffeine. The more caffeine we have in our system, the more resistant we're going to have, and the more caffeine we're going to need. So the more we eat throughout the day, whether it's snacks or complete meals, the more hungry we're going to be. And then, if we are someone who is actively trying to put a lot of weight, yes, that might help. But if you're like most of the people are actually trying to lose weight and be on some sort of calorie deficit, so being hungry all the time is not really great. But yeah, anyway, I would say carrots. Carrots are great. What else I use? I don't know, actually. I mean, mostly water, to be honest. Like, for me, water works great. I have always like a liter of water, or like I have this huge kind of like how you call it? Like it's like a huge mug, or like it's almost like a like a jug for me, but it's like a the like those that you use for beer, with like with the handle. So I have it always filled with water next to me, and as soon as I get hungry, I would just like drink some water. And as soon as I get I drink it, I would just go and get another one just so I have it all the time, and that actually helps. Like I never really feel that hungry. It's very mental thing as well. So about snacks, this is pretty much it that I want to say. Anyway, third question. If someone begins an exercise regimen and has bad nutrition, what is the effect on them? Um, that's a very interesting one, actually, but I will actually approach it this way. So, think of the nutrition. Let's say you want to. Why do you want first? Why do you want to exercise? You want to exercise because you want to get better. You want to get stronger, faster, better. Get more muscles, lose more fat, and build muscles at the same time, whatever. But you basically want to improve your body, or you basically want to build your body. Now, think of the exercises as the blueprint of what we are trying to build. So, exercises are giving the directions where we should put the resources or the building blocks. And those building blocks are the nutrition. That the food is our building blocks, is our resources. So, we cannot build the house if we only have excuse me we cannot build the house if we only have the resources, only have the cement, the bricks, the wood, the steel, but not knowing where to put all those resources and materials in order to build it. And vice versa, if we have all the blueprints, and we have all the like the projects around, and we know where to put the stuff, but we don't have the actual cement and bricks to lay the foundation of it and keep building, we will never be able to build anything. So those two are super important. So um, you know most of the time when you start exercising or any sort of like I don't know, any sort type of like activity, you're gonna see some results, but without actually proper nutrition, without especially with bad nutrition, it's really not gonna happen. Like you're not gonna see as fast results. You're not gonna see uh, sustainable results, because it's just like, yeah, it's 100% true that there are also studies and people that try to um, prove it, that their maintenance level was 3000 calories, and they were like working out all their life, so they're basically very fit and healthy, and now they decided to go on a diet and lose weight and prove that only by um, reducing calories and eating like basically fast food all day, so eating McDonald's, drinking wine, throughout the day, they prove that they can actually lose weight. Well, yeah, because it's a simple equation, it's simple math. Like, even though they were eating crap food and drinking alcohol, they were getting less calories than they were getting before. So, of course, they lost weight. But how did they feel? Did they feel great? Did they have a lot of energy? Were they hungry all the time? Did they have like sex drive? Did they have a proper hormonal function? Not really, and nobody is saying that. And the other thing is that, yeah, those people in the study, they were pretty healthy. They were pretty, they were on a very good state. So as I said, let's say they're like, if you're someone who is like has built up their metabolism on 3000 calories, well, you have room to play. But if you're someone who eating more than 800 calories is going to put weight on you, then you have nowhere to play with, nothing to play with. So uh, yes, you can definitely manipulate your body weight with bad nutrition, but what's the cause? What's the effect on that? Is it going to be worth it? What's the consequences? That's the thing. So um, those two things are pretty much, they have to go together. They have to be together. Like as soon as you start, not as soon, I mean, for me nutritions are the very basic like foundation for everything, regardless whether you exercise or just trying to be active throughout the day. You should be eating healthy foods, you should be eating whole foods, you should be eating like uh, you know nutrient dense food, which is going to give your body enough building blocks to recover, to produce hormones, to be healthy, and to function as it should. And especially when you start exercising, you should like put a lot of emphasis on food, because like now you're not only require you don't only require some of those building blocks, but you require even more because you're using more when you exercise. So it's super important. So the effect, I can't tell you exactly. I can only say that the results are not gonna be there. The results are not gonna be as fast. It's not gonna be very sustainable, because sooner or later you're going to experience the downsides of that bad nutrition. So uh, I wouldn't say you should experiment with that. I would say just make sure you have enough protein, fats, some carbs, and enough fibers, and you're gonna be great. Question number 4: what do you think is the importance of fitness assessment on one's fitness? Now, if it comes to assessing someone, there's thousands of ways of doing it. Uh, Whether you can assess their VO2 max, you can assess their endurance, you can assess their strength, you can assess the quality of their movement, you can assess their diet, you can assess a lot of stuff. um, and the importance, it's it's not only important, but it's the most important thing. uh, Without, for me as a trainer, if someone approach me and be like, hey, can you teach me how to squat, without me assessing how they squat, it would be impossible for me to just teach them how to do it. But the thing is, most of the people, they don't come to you and asking you, can you please teach me how to do squat. Most of the people, they're asking for they come to you and they're like, can you make me lose weight, can you make me gain more muscles. And it's, first of all, the goals are not as specific because there are so many different ways to go there. Second, um, you require a lot more assessment than just visual assessment. So in other words, like, I do have to know what's your diet, I do have to know uh, if you are currently exercising or you're just starting. I do have to know what's your history, if you have any injuries and stuff. And this is all part of the fitness assessment. I do need to know also how you move, because I cannot start prescribing exercises. Like, squat might be the king of leg building, like, but, and like, and it could be great for you, but if you cannot do it properly, I cannot just say, yeah, okay, today we're doing squats. No, like, I need to assess how you do the squat, and if you do it properly, then we can work towards improving it. Maybe we can manipulate some sets, weights, reps, whatever, rest period. But if you don't know how to do squat or deadlift or hip hinge, or like overhead press or some of those moves, my job would be to teach you how to do it. So I have to first assess the way you move in order to prescribe, and in order to know from where to begin prescribing, and from where to begin changing. Like, assessment is the most important thing for me, because it's like the baseline. Like, if you don't have the baseline, you have no idea what to do. It's like, uh, how do you know whether you are eating more calories or less calories if you don't even know your maintenance level, if you don't know your baseline? So, like, without knowing your baseline, you would just kind of like shoot randomly, and you would be like, yeah, okay, I feel like I'm eating more, so probably I'm on a surplus. Yeah, I feel like I'm eating less, but I'm probably, so I'm getting hungry, so I'm probably on a deficit. Well, if you don't know those variables, if you don't know your baseline, you won't be able to manipulate it properly. And even if you achieve some sort of success, you won't be able to measure it. You won't be able to know, and like, sooner or later you're going to run out of options, because if, like, we go back to the analogy of like the food. So let's say you're someone who is eating 2000 calories, and now you want to start losing weight. Well, if you do know that you are eating 2000 calories, you can
drop down to 1800 for a few weeks, and then you can drop to another uh, you know with another 200, and then you can see how your body reacts. But if you don't know the baseline of 2000 calories, you will all of a sudden be like, okay, so I'm going to be on a deficit from tomorrow, and all of a sudden you will start eating like uh, 1000 calorie less. So your body is going to adapt super fast, and the results for 3 months are going like uh, you won't be able to achieve like a results of 3 months. You will be able to achieve like quite fast but results of 1 month. So and you will hit a plateau. So my point is that it is super important to know your baseline, and that's why fitness assessment is one of the most important tools when it comes to getting that baseline for everyone, not just for trainers, but also for everyone who is starting to go like and lift weights. Like I always try to tell people this is like pick few exercises which are very basic and very important, kind of like the big four exercises, uh, and practice them. Like, but first assess. Like, pick the squat for example, and try to do one, perfect squat without any weight. Um, you can ask someone to correct you. You can ask someone to film you, and then you can correct yourself. You can learn the proper technique from internet, or you can ask a trainer to show you how to do it. No trainer is going to say no if you ask for help if you're in the gym. And if you're training at home, there are thousands of videos and ways that people explain it online, so you can learn a lot about how to do squat. And you can start filming yourself, or you can use a mirror to see where you at, and you can like go from there. But without assessing yourself, you won't be able to know what exactly you need to do in order to progress. So like this is what I think it's very important. It's one of the most important things when it comes to fitness. Moving on to the last question, guys. Why is it important to prepare a plan before starting bodyweight exercise workout? Well, the thing is, um, it's important to prepare a plan before starting anything. Like, especially when it comes to the gym, or exercising, or using, in this case, bodyweight exercises, workouts. Like, it's not just going out and moving. Like, if you have strict specific goals which you want to achieve, whether it's through body weight training or through um, weightlifting or whatever else, like whether if it's like I don't know, like you want to run faster, or if you want to run, or if you want to jump higher, like you need to have a plan in order to execute those small little wins. It's like just as I talked in the last episode. So let's say your goal is to build your legs. In the last episode, excuse me. In the last question. So your goal is to build big legs, right? So you can't just go and start doing whatever you can think of for your legs and you expect them to grow. No, like we need to assess, okay, what should I do in order to grow my legs? Well, squat is the best exercise that I can do for building my legs. Okay, can I do squat? No. Okay, what can I do to go closer and learn how to do squat? Well, I can do this and that mobility exercise. I can improve this. Meanwhile, I can do single leg squat, or I can do lunges, or I can do Bulgarian split squat, or I can do some other machine work maybe to practice. But the ultimate goal is to learn how to do the squat so I can use the most amount of benefits and actually gain the most amount of weight in my legs or strength. So without having the plan, it's quite impossible to actually achieve like long-term results, because without having a plan you're kind of like going to be running around and trying a bunch of different stuff without actually really achieving anything. Like having plan for me is like uh, you know first fall in love with the process or fall in love with the journey towards a destination, but actually you can't really go straight to the destination. So you need to go through small checkpoints which are going to prepare you further for the journey, right? So having a plan is pretty much the same. Just like imagine you're building a house. Without having a plan for building the house, how can you build anything? You cannot start decorating if you don't have walls, right? You cannot start putting like windows if you haven't even laid the foundations, right? So you see what I mean? Like without having a plan, you won't be able to actually execute a proper workout. You can't be efficient, because as I said, like just going and doing bunch of stuff, it's not really going to benefit anyone. Like it's all progression. Whatever you start to build, it's progression. You start from the beginning and you build up more and more and more. So having a plan is crucial for every sort of goal that you have, and it's important. It's just important because, like as I said, like you can't having those progressions. You can't jump from like level 1 to, like, think of the elevator, right? The elevator doesn't go from level 1 straight to like level 5, right? It goes through every single floor first, and then it reaches to the level 6 or level 5 or whatever. So it's pretty much the same. It runs in a similar in a progressive way, in a way, so it's super important. It's crucial to have a plan, and it's quite important to have the right plan, and this is going to actually be determined from assessment. So as we talked in the previous question, like it's important to know where you're at, so then you can take the appropriate steps, and you can create the proper plan and start taking those steps and start improving further, and eventually reach your destination, or hopefully never reach your destination but fall in love with the journey and keep trying to progress. So I think I don't really have anything else to say for this question, but yeah, plans are super important, guys. Anyway, with that being said, guys, if you like the information I provide you, please go and check out my website. I'm sure you're going to find a lot of valuable stuff there. I've got guides, free guides. I've got blog section where you can learn a lot and you can read and try to get better or get more knowledge. What else I've got? I don't know. Just go and check it out if you're interested. You will find a lot of stuff in there. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Also, if you have certain questions that you would like me to answer, please you can email them to me. My email is written on the website, but if you want to know it, it's petio.kk@yahoo.com. So just ask me whatever you can think is going to be beneficial, or whatever you actually want to know, and I will make sure to answer that question in the next episode. That being said, thank you so much, guys, one more time, and see you next time. Bye. Thank you for tuning to Fit Life Radio. I hope you learned something useful, or at least had a bit of color to your commute. If you enjoyed the show, please share the love by introducing it to friends and family. And if you don't mind, please leave a review on your favorite podcasting app. Thank you for your support, and until next time, stay fit.